y'all. Welcome to Cocktail Hour. I am Meg.
And I'm Nikki.
Today, we are going a little off the script with an audio-only episode. I am currently on the road somewhere, hopefully California by this point. I am anticipating Adam might want to puss out of the road trip before we even get to California. And then I'll have to throw a fit and we'll get in a fight. It's going to be a whole thing. So,
that's fun.
Yeah,
so today we're just kind of diving right in. We have a Reddit submission story titled Demoted and No Longer Talked to because I couldn't go to the bachelorette party.
This is why I don't have friends.
So, the submitter says, seeking advice or opinions. I was asked to be a bridesmaid a few months after the same girl told me to my face that she didn't have enough friends to even have bridesmaids in her wedding. First red flag. She also talked shit about the two girls that she had chose already, saying that one was just a cousin that she doesn't even talk to, and the other was her brother's wife, who she doesn't like. I was obviously upset because I thought we were friends. Anyway, I guess a few months later, she decides she needed someone else for filler and asked me to be a bridesmaid. Biggest mistake I've ever made accepting the offer. Since then, she has become such a bad friend. Her bachelorette party was hours away, and they expected a $1,000 minimum spent to attend the weekend. They, as in her friends / maid of honors. Yes, 2 maids of honors because they are sisters. Don't ask. LOL. I politely told her why I would not attend months in advance so they could plan accordingly, and I was left unread. After that, I was no longer treated as a friend. She never texted or asked to hang out. And when I texted her, she either left me unread or ended the convo. I was then removed from the group chats and was not included in anything wedding related. Her wedding is in the next few weeks, and when I text her to confirm stuff, she's so dry. Literally, we have no relationship anymore because of her. I was supposed to be third in line at the altar, but now I was demoted to last in line after the two women she talked shit about for months. So I guess I'm lower on the totem pole than they are. First of all, I also want to cut in and just say that is a crazy thing to me, a crazy concept to like have people. It's like a Myspace top 8 for your friends when you're lining them up in your wedding. That's how I feel personally.
Yeah.
Or at least people can view it that way. And clearly this person does. Anyway, she is such a fucking bridezilla and sent out a 14-hour itinerary. 14 freaking hours. No minute not accounted for. Am I the asshole for not giving a shit anymore and not caring to help the day of her wedding? She expects us to basically be the setup and takedown crew for the event. Also a red flag. I am also in charge of doing 2 people's makeup that day. This is insane and out of hand. Mind you, this is a travel wedding, and I already have to pay for the travel, Airbnb, bridesmaids dress, shoes, and the list goes on. I guess I wouldn't mind supporting her if we were actually friends still, but she just keeps in touch only for wedding day details. She literally only speaks to me so I can make her look good by making her look like she has friends on the day when she really is the worst friend and has none. I am just literally a filler for her wedding day and a free personal assistant with no fucking gain. Any tips on how to handle the situation and get through it? Thanks. Leave. Back out. If you're
Run.
if you feel like this person isn't your friend anyway, why are you there? It makes no sense to me that people remain in situations where they sense that they are not wanted or being used. If this is happening in my life, I'm out. I don't care. I'm leaving you hanging. You clearly don't care about me enough to communicate with me to be my actual friend. Then guess what? I'm not reciprocating that. I'm not giving that back to you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I just have such beef with people who shit talk their friends in quotes, and then they act like everything is completely fine. That drives me insane. Or watching people go back and forth between like, oh, I hate this person. I hate this person. Well, now I'm fighting with my other friends, so I'm going to be best friends with them. And now I'm going to be like, get it together.
It's very high school. It's
So
very,
high
very
school.
childish. I will say I have run into that problem. Not shit talking, but venting to a friend and kind of just like getting advice on a situation with another friend who maybe one friend isn't specifically close with, and then making up with the friend who I was venting about and having just like adult conversations and making up with your friends because life happens.
Yeah.
And then having the other friend be like, I thought you didn't like her. And I'm like, well, first of all, I never said I didn't like her. I was going through an issue with my friend and seeking advice from you, which I probably won't do now because that's your opinion.
No, 100%. And as adults, I think it's important that like we have beef with someone, we work it out like when
Yes.
possible. But yeah, if you are constant, like if you clearly don't like someone in your life, all you're doing is venting about them. Oh, they do this, they do this, they do this. Like you have a problem with them every moment of every day, but then to their face, you're super nice to them.
Yeah.
And then you're best friends with them. But then the next day you hate them again. I'm just like, I wonder what you say about me when I'm not around. That's the biggest thing is if you are in a space with someone and all they're doing is talking shit about a specific person.
About others, yeah.
Yeah, about others. And you kind of have to think to yourself, like, what are you saying about me?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a really, like, maybe I'm just being silly, but even you and I, if we get into it or whatever, I don't think I have ever gone to anyone else and shit talked you.
God.
Ever.
No.
Because I think I would be devastated if I found out that you were like talking to another photographer and you're like, God, I actually hate working for Megan and like all this stuff. And if that came across my desk, not only would you and I never speak again, I'd probably be evil to you. Evil. And I just sit there and go, when you are really friends with someone, like, yeah, we can have problems with each other and we can
talk it out.
But you talk it out or whatever. But I'm like, if you really like someone that much, then why are you talking shit about them all day, every day?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It makes no sense. And I think in a situation, especially with weddings, I do understand that emotions are high.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of anxiety, but it does not give you an excuse to be a shitty friend or a shitty person.
Yeah.
And I think especially this is a reason why I don't want bridesmaids. I don't want bridesmaids. I want my friends to be with me on my wedding day. Like I want all my friends to like surround me and like we'll do hair and makeup together, or like maybe somebody will give a speech like earlier in the day or later or something, or like multiple people can. I don't give a fuck who's talking because I view all of my friends as like just such a core support system in my life that like I need.
But this is not like a popularity contest of like who does Nikki like
exactly.
the most?
And I do think that some people look at wedding parties that way.
Yeah.
And that scares me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be put in a situation where one of my friends is really salty because, you know, they're not the ones standing next to me, or one of my friends is really salty because somebody's giving a speech, or one of my friends is really pissed. I'm like, first of all, as a almost 32-year-old woman, maybe in my 20s, different. When I got married the first time, I did it very differently. I had a very traditional wedding. But as a 32-year-old woman, no.
Yeah.
Things are so different now. And I just don't see it the way that I did when I was much younger planning a wedding for the first time. Yeah. It's just very different to me. And I can't imagine being asked to be included in somebody's day and then being completely cast aside and treated as if I am nothing.
Yeah. And essentially being told ahead of time, like, I need people in my bridal party. Will you be in my bridal party? But like,
you're a filler friend.
No.
I think that's weird. And I don't like that. I'd rather have, and I've had people ask me this, couples before, when it comes to wedding parties. They're like, well, will it look weird if he only has 4 and I have 6? I'm like, don't fake it.
Yeah.
Those are your friends. Like that is your wedding party. Don't go out of your way to like just pick people just to have them in the wedding, just to have them. Like, I think that's a really poor choice just because you want even numbers and you want it to look symmetrical.
Also, think about this. Fuck the symmetrical, because have them sit down during the ceremony.
Thank you.
They don't need to be up there with you. Also, what are you doing with the photographs? Like you're all in a line for one photograph as a bridal party. What are you going to do with it? Nothing. So why does it matter how many are on each side?
At the end of the day, when it comes to a wedding, if you're not solely focused as a bride or a groom, you know, marrying your significant other, if you're not solely focused on your partner and the life that you're going to have after, you're thinking about the wrong things, sweetie. Yeah. I get having a beautiful aesthetic wedding and like you want to have 6 people on this side and 6 people on that side. At the end of the day, 35 years down the road, when you're shitting your brains out, prepping for your first colonoscopy that your partner's going to drive you to, you're not thinking about the motherfuckers, you know, standing next to you at the altar. Yes, some of them may still be some of your best friends, but
some of them you may never have spoken to again after that.
Like I say in one of these mini episodes, I was a maid of honor in somebody's wedding, and we had a very bad falling out as friends. Church cult related, but it was not a good end of a friendship. And to be completely honest, it was a very bad friendship in general. It was a very toxic friendship, and looking back, like, there were a lot of mistakes made along the way, but I think about that and I'm like, that sucks.
Yep.
Not for me, but for them. Like,
Yeah,
that
you're
sucks
in
that
all
I'm in
those
all of those
photos.
photos. I walked their kids down the aisle. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I hope, you know, the whole friendship wasn't terrible. So if this person, I doubt they'll ever listen to this, but if they were to hear it, I'm not discounting the fact that we had very real love for each other as friends. But at the end of the day, that sucks.
Yeah. Pick your people very specifically. Don't care about the numbers of them.
Yeah.
If you could not imagine having your wedding without this person by your side, awesome. But if not.
And don't be friends with people who are talking shit about their other friends or their anything. Like, it's just too much. If you're with somebody who's consistently just negative, they're just constant, like, oh, I can't, like, this person fucking sucks, or I hate this person, or look at this person, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
I fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
okay.
Literally, I suck.
Yeah,
we suck.
So, like, what?
But, like, we love each other still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't need to be reminded. And I don't need you to tell other people that I fucking suck, because I know that I fucking suck. I know my faults. Yeah. I know where I fall short. I'm very aware, as are you. Yeah. And I think that's why it works, our friendship, because we, A, are very self-aware, but B, I know you don't like conflict with people that you love. Yeah. And I avoid conflict, but I approach it as resolution.
Yeah.
And so when if anything ever pops up, I'm like, listen, I get it. And then I think you have an easier time being like, okay, well, now I'm going to speak my mind, because you are taking the approach of, you know, sharing. And then we're like, okay, we've aired our grievances. Let's get to a point where we're understanding each other, because a lot of the times when there is conflict within, especially adult female friendships, it's based off of our own interpretation in our own head, without clarifying with the other person of what their actual intention was, of how they, you know, meant to make us feel, or what they meant to say, or how they meant to behave. And then we're internalizing everything because we're anxious 30-year-olds. And that's all we do, especially when you have childhood trauma. That's how you deal with things.
Yeah.
So it is nice to be able to get to a place in an adult friendship to say, hey, let's talk about this. And then you forget about it and you're talking about fart and poops.
And the best part is, like, just you and I, and probably most of you listening, any issues that you have with a friend, they're so minute, but you build them up in your head.
So much
and then
more.
Afterwards you're like, oh, we are dumb. Like, that was so dumb. That was a literal nothing burger of, we felt some type of way about something. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. And nothing that really we have going on right now, it all has to do with the past and how we dealt with things in the past and things that were delivered to us in the past. It has nothing to do with us. But friendships, I mean, yeah, they're tough, but you have to just, I don't know. Also, I'm a cut, bait, and run person. If time after time it's the same bullshit with someone, then I'm kind of like, okay, bye. And the reason that I think you and I are still friends, honestly, is because we can talk things out like normal human beings, and it is what it is.
Do you feel like the cut, bait, and run thing for you, is it like quiet quitting? Like, do you just quietly bow out, or do you tell people like, hey, I've dealt with this enough with you, like, I'm not dealing with this anymore and I need a break?
Probably quiet
quitting,
but if they come to me, I will very clearly speak my mind as to why.
Okay.
So yeah, and I've tried to go back. I'm honest, I'm gonna lay it all out there. I'm gonna put my dad on blast a little bit. I don't speak to my actual dad, and I've tried a little bit over the years to, like, you know, he reaches out and I'll give in one point. Typically it's on my birthday when I give in, because I'm already very just feeling emotional about getting older.
Yeah.
And within an hour or two, we've gotten into it about something, and I'm like, this is exactly why I cannot fucking do this.
It's too much.
It's too much. And I think at some point, especially given our childhoods, you get to a spot in your adult life where you go, okay, I'm building peace.
Yep.
Peace is a commodity that some people don't realize how much you need it if you haven't had it.
Yeah, I agree.
So building that peace out, and then having people in my life who are ruining that peace, I go,
I don't have time.
I don't have time for that. I don't have time. If you are going to negatively impact me, negatively impact my business, negatively impact the loved ones around me, like, I don't really have time for this. But one other thing I wanted to point out that you had said that is so huge is intent.
Yes.
We judge ourselves on what our intent was, but we judge other people on how we perceive their actions.
Yeah.
We don't think about their intent. And we talked about this on a week that's coming out this week, where it's like, hey, you did something, your intent was actually hella positive, but I took it in a like, oh, Nikki wasn't thinking about me way. And I wish that in that moment I would have thought about, best case scenario, what could Nikki have been trying to do that it was actually positive? That I think would ease my concerns in life in general if I looked at it and went, wait, what positive intent do I think they had with that action, instead of immediately going to what negative? Because I give myself all the grace in the world.
Right.
I go, why are they mad at me? I meant something really positive by that.
Meanwhile, we now know my intent was like, I don't want to inconvenience you because you're already planning to drive to 25 minutes away one time during the day to, help me out with something.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like you have to drive there and then be there in the morning and then leave and then go home and then drive back. My whole thing was like, I know you're busy.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like you're forced to go do something that maybe is unimportant to you at the end of the day.
So it's important that you have those conversations, but
clarifying.
But at the top of the thing, before those conversations even happen, I think it's important for us as humans to try to think about what is reality, instead of just telling ourselves these stories in our head of what that person meant, because all you're going to fucking do is drive yourself insane.
And 100% of the time you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
because you're not in somebody else's brain. Like, you're wrong. And I really do struggle with that. And I've had some friendships where that is a big thing. But that's why I do enjoy my friendship with you, is because you come back around. But there are people who don't. There are people who will sit in that and stew in that and convince themselves of how they truly believe that you intended something to come off, or how somebody else intended something to come off, and they will make themselves believe that. And no matter what you say, if you're like, no, I promise you, like, I didn't mean it that way, they're like, well, that's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there's no grace to be given.
Okay.
Yeah. And I try to come back around, because I know for me, I know that things come out of my mouth sometimes, or like I'll have a certain tone with something, especially if we're like in the middle of the wedding day and like I'm moving, and someone says something or someone does something, I'm like, hey, no, don't do that. Like, I know that I say things, especially to Adam, where immediately, maybe within 30 seconds, I go, oh, that probably did not come off well, but that's not actually what I meant. Like, in no way am I mad, in no way am I angry or malicious, but maybe that came out wrong, or maybe I didn't phrase that well. And I just hope that people give me that grace. So I'm working really hard on being like, bitch, not everything is that serious. And you need to, I wish though that, and I think it'll get better as we get older, because we'll get tired. But I think that
less energy
for shit like this. But I would love to get to a space where I'm not having to come back around because it never happened in the first place, or I'm catching it before it even gets to your attention, I might feel like, oh, that didn't feel good, or whatever the case may be. That's something that I'm working on. I'm journaling about it.
You mean like for yourself, in terms of like how you interpret other people's?
Yes. Take the situation that we were talking about with the shoot. I wish that it never got to the point where
where you thought that.
Yeah, where I hurt my own feelings thinking about your intent with something.
And how I supposedly didn't want you there.
Before it was even a conversation between the two of us, because I already caught it and was like, oh, well, yeah, she probably doesn't want me to have to drive back and forth, but let me just reiterate to her, like, oh, hey, I'd love to be a part of that.
Okay.
And it was like, it was a nothing burger.
And I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
You're so unbothered. But then how funny is it for me? Then I go, God, Nikki's so unbothered. I don't even know if she likes me sometimes. Like, I let your unbotheredness then also come at me, where I go, am I doing something wrong? It's that rejection OCD
for sure
creeping up. It's
well, and again, everybody's just different.
Yeah. And I also think, not to like bring childhood back into this, people need to realize that, again, how we are as adults is very likely a direct
result of that 0 to 5, baby. 0 to 5.
Yeah. 0 to 5 of like, I would walk around my household as a kid not knowing how my day was going to be based on, is my dad angry today?
Have you heard of that 0 to 5 therapy concept? Of like how I've been in therapy since I was literally 5. Like, so I've learned a lot. I have a lot of traumatic therapy stories. I will not share them on this fucking thing today. But I was tackled by a therapist once and held down because I tried to leave. It was traumatic.
They're like, no, you need to stay.
There is this concept, and I'm going to butcher it, so Google it if you're listening, but from ages 0 to 5, that those years are so important in the making of your life, which again goes back to us talking about like having kids and like all of that, and thinking about 0 to 5, like from the moment they're born until they're 5 years old. Like, are you fucking that baby up?
Yeah.
Without even knowing it, without even realizing that your voice is raised, or that you're, you know, looking at your phone opposed to engaging with your child when they're tapping on your shoulder. Like, there are little things which on our scale is a lot more traumatic, right? Like your dad, you know, and his anger, and my mom being a crackhead, and my biological father being a you know, in prison and a drug addict. And
mine seems very minimal compared to
not at all. Like, I think having an angry parent in the house is a lot scarier than having an absentee parent. Like, you know, there's a lot of things, but I think all of that really shapes these conversations that we're having today, and how we fucking deal with things as a 30-year-old full-blown human adult / baby still. Like, I'm a toddler.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I feel like I am stuck. I heard this thing the other day. Oh my God, I promise I won't cry when I say it, but I'm going to want to cry.
You're crying already. You're literally
Nikki,
crying right now.
Nikki knows my cry face. But
and voice. The quiver?
The quiver. I know. So it said, if you grew up with an angry man in your house, there is always an angry man in your house.
Damn.
And essentially, to me, that meant like, I am never escaping my stuff with my dad, because even if he's not physically here, mentally and in my soul, I am always on
constantly
edge.
In the back of your head. You're thinking, well, what if I say this to Adam? Will it trigger him? And Adam is the sweetest, most gentle jelly bean man in the world.
Literally, everyone met him. Yes. Everyone met him last week, and they were like, "That is the sweetest man I've ever met."
Love
like, no,
him.
He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's never even raised
his voice.
Voice at me. It's insane. But I am always constantly on edge of like, how have I impacted this person's emotion? All this stuff. And then even take it one step further. Even if I'm not worried about other people's emotions, I have an angry man inside of my head.
Sure.
I am the angry one sometimes. And I think about it and I go, God, I'm acting just like my dad right now. And it's just, it is hard. I think we all have our shit from childhood. And again, it goes back to our parents sometimes did the best with what they had, and that was their first time living as well. So you try to have that grace, but that doesn't mean you need to have people in your life to give them that. You can give them that grace from afar, much like this situation. Clearly your friend here has some issues, and if they have no friends, if they can't keep a friendship, there's stuff going on with them. Give them that grace. Do it from afar.
Yep.
You don't need to be in their life.
You don't need to put yourself in a position to be in somebody's wedding. And granted, I think like you and I, if we put ourselves in this position, would we feel bad and maybe do it out of like, shit, we feel bad and stay in the wedding because of that? If the person is still actively trying to be a friend to us, sure. But if the moment they start, their energy changes and they start treating you like you're just a fucking chore that they have to deal with to talk about wedding stuff, I do not need that. And again, clearly you do not care enough about our friendship, and that's okay. Like, sometimes people grow apart. In this situation, it sounds like she's just always been a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
So cut off.
Yeah, gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Especially before you spend any more money. Sayonara.
And you're doing people's makeup? What are you, nuts?
I'm leaving. I'm cutting bait and running.
I'm making them look like clowns. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to the other girls.
If you want to do it, if you want to be real
sabotage,
crazy.
But that's not their fault. But, you know, people like that tend to stick together too. So just be careful of your surroundings. Watch out for the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Especially as you get older, you will realize you don't have time for that.
Yeah. And I'm reading some of the comments right now, and it says, try to recoup whatever costs you can. Consequences be damned. As the youths say, protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
Yeah.
Love that.
Truly. That's really all you can do sometimes. I mean, yeah, you might lose out on some, money, but...
Send her a Venmo request.
No, serious.
Send her a Venmo request. Send her a bill.
Maybe also for just like time, suffering,
yes,
emotional distress.
Literally, emotional distress. Like, you're putting me through the fucking ringer.
Yeah. No, I would leave. I just don't have time for that. I'm not about like that frenemy life.
No.
Couldn't do it.
At a certain point too, you just grow apart from those people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
As an adult, life changes.
Oh, yeah. Priorities change.
How it goes.
Let's say you have kids, and that's one thing I see people talk about online is like, oh, losing contact with like your friends who have kids. When you have kids, I can only imagine the amount that's on your plate.
I was gonna say, you have fucking kids.
Yeah, they're priority number one. Now, it's awesome. Would I still love for you to be able to come out to the bar and stuff like? Now, granted, I don't even go to the bar. I don't have kids, but like, it is hard to live that exact same life. And I just saw Ellen Pompeo talk about that on Call Her Daddy, where she talked about the fact that like when you have kids, people need to stop saying like, oh, you can still give 100% to your job and 100% to your kids. Well, that means you're 200%.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. But you become such an amazing like person. You have kids and you're more empathetic and you're more caring and whatever, that just because you can't give 100% to your job and be there every moment of the day, that doesn't fucking matter anymore. You're still doing a good job, but it doesn't mean that you have to be top dog CEO at the company and top mom. Like, you can feed into different parts of your life, and that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Literally, that just made me think of when I hosted my high school reunion recently. One of my friends couldn't make it because she had a baby like 8 weeks before that. And somebody had said like, well, she could have come if she wanted to. And I'm like, well, she didn't fucking want to. First of all, she lives out of state. She doesn't live here. And she just had a baby. She didn't want to fucking come.
Leave these people alone.
To this bunk ass. Yeah. I'm kidding. It was actually really good. Very fun. Yeah. Had a great time. But like, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
She just had a baby.
No. Like, and again, it's the whole protect your peace. If you, and this is someone who, by the way, is child-free as a choice and who will, God willing, always be child-free. I still look at people with kids and I go, do you, boo-boo. Do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you and your family happy.
Even with stepkids, let me tell you, like, when stuff comes up for the kids, or let's say a travel experience comes up where we can take the kids and go do something, 100% of the time, that is our priority over doing stuff with friends, over doing stuff just us. Yeah. Like 100% of the time, if we are presented with a time and an opportunity of when we can go do stuff with Craig's kids, we're taking it. Yeah. And we have set times every year where we do those things and we prioritize them and we make sure that we do those things and we really love doing those things. And I think of friends who may not understand that because they don't have kids. Yeah. Granted, I've never birthed a baby, don't know what that's like, but I have Craig's kids now who are in my life, and I will be damned if I don't prioritize that as well because they're his children.
Yeah, it's their first time living as
well. Literally. So for people not understanding that kind of stuff, or like being like, well, no, like I don't have fucking time for that. I'm 32 years old. I don't have time.
Yeah, agreed. And I will say I'm the type of person who, like, I went to Disney World in the off season trying to go when there was less kids. That did not work.
Were there hella kids?
There was hella kids.
Really?
But they were like young kids.
Oh, sure. Not in school.
These parents who live in Florida who have year-long passes to Disney World.
That makes sense.
You know, their kids would get the fuck out of their face and try to run off some energy.
That's so true.
So there was a ton of them there. But I don't know. Do I want to be around kids all the time? No. But in no way do I look at society and be like, there should be less children.
Never.
No, I don't care. If I cared that much, I'll go to an all-inclusive adults-only resort. But you know what? The drunk swinger adults that are there are going to irritate me too.
They're big kids. Yeah. They're big babies. And I will say that in some of my friendships with people who have kids, a lot of the times their kids bring us closer together. Yeah. I love those fucking kids. Yeah. They're my babies.
Yeah.
Shout out baby Leo.
Auntie life for sure.
Literally. Like it makes a difference, and you just have to adjust because that's how life works, especially as you get old and things fucking change and you become decrepit, and you know, then one day you die and you're in Meg's freezer.
Easter egg.
I was gonna say, if that episode's not out yet.
If you haven't heard the episode, you need to go find the other audio.
Now don't call the police. Don't call the police because there's nobody actively there. It's just a joke.
Adam is well and living.
Yes.
Well, I will say though, I don't think it's a premonition. We talked about that in another episode as well. But I just have been in my head been like, what if we accidentally drive off a cliff on this trip on accident? And so I shared my location with Nikki, like indefinitely. I was like, hey, here's my location just in case I need you to like track where I'm at on this road trip. I don't think Adam's going to kill me. I don't think Adam's going to kill us. Yeah, no. But I'm so afraid of like sneezing and accidentally driving off of like Highway 101 or whatever on the Pacific Coast Highway. So just like keep a lookout. And now you have
Highway
keys.
100 in Crystal, Minnesota.
I know, right? So you have keys to the office as well.
Leave your passwords in the drawer.
Yeah, passwords in the drawer, and like you'll take over. So if any of my clients are listening to this, even if I died, you would all be very well taken care of because I have a plan.
I was going to say, you'd have the whole Louis package still. I have all the editing information.
Yeah, she's got my Lightroom catalog. She's got
Don't worry, guys.
Essentially, she will just be Meg 2.0, and you'll all be perfectly fine.
You'll be great.
But I've never really had that fear until owning a business and having other people's like treasured memories in my hands of going, what if I die? Let me make sure I have a plan for that.
Love that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that went so off topic, but I think that's the joy
I think
of
that's
us.
the point of these like mini episodes too, is like, yeah, we start with a story, but like you're just fucking rocking with us this whole time. So that's what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
What it is, oh, what's up? And a good girl needs a little thing.
Who is that?
Do you know who that is?
Wait, hold on. It's not Ice Spice. What it is, huh?
You're gonna be shocked.
It's not Doechii.
It's fucking Doechii. It's Doechii.
Oh my God. Put the motherfucking money
In
in
my
my motherfucking
motherfucking
hands.
hand.
I'm in Gucci and a bonnet spending motherfucking bands. I got haters, I got fans, I got sands in the sands. Do they love it or they hate it? Either way, they're spending bands. Anyways,
Bye.
okay, that's really all we have for you guys. Oh, well, let's do like an official outro.
Okay.
So thanks so much for joining this cocktail hour.
Thank you.
We are on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, dropping episodes.
You're doing
twice a
this
week.
like you're doing it on a camera.
I
Apple,
am.
Spotify, YouTube.
I'm just used to the camera.
So tune in, bitches. Find us on Instagram at cocktailhour.podcast. The link is in our bio. Submit all your stuff. It's all anonymous. Air your grievances. Do your shit. Give us questions.
We've had a morning.
This is our like 7th episode in a row. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
We appreciate you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.